real reason MJF has been gone from AEW is finally over, and we may even have a potential return date based off of a new report for Maxwell Jacob Friedman fans out there. Look, I don't know about you, but I've been missing the salt of the earth in AEW. Clearly, he is one of their biggest stars, biggest attractions, top main event player, but we are in this weird dynamic with him where he will be on AEW television and then he will be off of AEW television for weeks, maybe even months at a time, because he is trying to really break through the Hollywood circle. Now, that's great for him, but also as wrestling fans, as MJF fans, as AEW fans, I can't say that I'm quite thrilled with this new schedule, because AEW clearly put the rocket to him going into his contract year, and 2023 was a strong year for him. Obviously, 2024 was an even stronger year for him, but 2025 has been weird because he'll be on television and then he'll disappear because he has to go film these other roles and these Hollywood commitments. And that's great for him, but I also think that Tony Khan is walking a very fine line. Sure, you don't want to overexpose MJF on television. You don't want him to be in, 13 segments like he was once upon a time when he was paired with Adam Cole. I get all that. You don't want it to be oversaturated and burned out, but at the same time, you also want to use MJF because he is a very good commodity. Now, more on that in a minute. I don't want to waste y'all's time. Here's the point of this video. The reason that he has been off of television is because he's been filming a new movie, okay? Now, Fightful Select is reporting that MJF is factored into creative plans for AEW World's End, and his return involves major implications for the current World Heavyweight Champion. But why was his return delayed from November to December, and is he coming back for his diamond ring, right? So he was filming up in Winnipeg over the last several weeks, if not months, right? Several weeks. And so with this, the original plan was for MJF to return in November, shortly after filming had wrapped. However, that timeline shifted to December to maximize the impact of his arrival or re-revival, whatever you want to put it. So they wanted to bring him back in November. The call was made to bring him back in December. Now, keep in mind, the last time that we saw MJF, he had declared, look, I have a guaranteed championship match for the World Heavyweight Champion. Okay? He was going to go and he was going to fight Hangman Page. Now, Hangman Page had actually beaten MJF and retained the championship, which was actually a shocker at the time. And so Tony Khan had ruled, look, MJF has this championship opportunity and he can get it, but you cannot just come out there and, all right, within 2 minutes we're having a championship match. You can't do that, man. You've got to call your shot in advance. That's fine. And so a lot of people were expecting, hey, when MJF returns to AEW television, he'll insert himself right back into the world title picture. He had taken a little bit of a break from the world title picture. He had entered into a feud with Mark Briscoe, which was a lot of fun, and kind of taking a step back. They kind of reset everything, and you didn't want to book back-to-back world title matches with MJF and Hangman Page, especially with AEW doing monthly pay-per-view events, so they kind of took a little bit of a break, and the belief was, hey, look, probably World's End, that's probably your main event, MJF, Hangman Page, and clearly that's not happening, right? They've blown up a lot. Obviously, you have a new world champion, right? You have Samoa Joe as your world champion, a shocker in that. He's feuding with Swerve Strickland. He's feuding with Eddie Kingston. I don't know if AEW wants to do a heel versus heel program. I don't think that is what they're building towards. I cannot see a heel Samoa Joe versus a heel MJF. I also don't think they're going to turn MJF babyface. They're clearly not going to turn Samoa Joe babyface anytime soon. So you're not getting that. Everyone, including myself, thought Samoa Joe was a transitional champion, right? Where, okay, we get the title off of Hangman because we don't want to do Hangman versus MJF 2. So we're going to put the title on him, and then him and Swerve can work, and then Swerve can get the title perhaps at World's End from Samoa Joe, and then MJF and Swerve can feud heading into Revolution. Because as of right now, AEW doesn't have a pay-per-view event from December until March. I think it's March 15th, 16th, something like that. That's Revolution. and usually is one of their bigger shows of the year. So I can absolutely see a scenario in which MJF comes out there at the end of World's End. Swerve Strickland wins the AEW World Heavyweight Championship from Samoa Joe. It's a big, inciting moment. The babyface wins it. Clearly, Swerve is just a megastar in this company. The fans buy into him. The promotion buys into him. He's a believable champion. He's a worthy champion. He's a credible champion, yada, yada, yada. And then you can have MJF just pop up, the lights go out, lights come back on, and then boom, MJF comes out there. You get a stare down. Maybe they even get a little physical. And then that sets up the dynamic, because as of right now, all indications is MJF doesn't have any other movie projects, at least filming, within the next, say, let's 3 months. So you can have a dynamic where, okay, January, February, and early March, you have a 3-month build to this mega match. You have one of your biggest baby faces in Swerve Strickland. I would say on the male side, outside of like a Darby Allin or something like that, Swerve is probably your biggest baby face right now. And the idea that, hey, we can book our biggest baby face versus our biggest, most hated heel, also our biggest star, and have them have a ton of time to tell a story of, hey, here's a pillar in MJF. Here's a guy that desperately wants this World Heavyweight Championship, that will desperately do anything because he's so desperate to get that title back. And then you have this mega babyface, Swerve Strickland, who has fought tooth and nail. He has resurrected himself. He has literally physically transformed himself into someone much bigger and stronger to protect AEW from the evil, right? And then you have this mega clash. Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic. That's an idea that I can get behind. And this idea that, okay, World's End, we're building. It's Swerve Strickland, it's Samoa Joe, and Swerve finally gets the job done. He finally gets the title from that bastard Samoa Joe. And then boom, his celebration is cut short. His big moment, his feel-good moment is really covered from this black cloud that is MJF. And MJF, who is more focused than ever, is more desperate than ever, that is more dangerous than ever, desperately wants to get back that AEW World Heavyweight Championship. That's an interesting idea. That's an interesting program. That's an interesting feud. That's something I can get behind. That's something you can get behind, right? So I think as AEW builds towards this, I think it's going to be very, very fascinating to see what they end up doing. And if they go with this, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.